Hey everybody, MUHerd37 here, and today we're going to do a quick video, just a kind of an overview of X-Plane 11. I've had a bunch of people asking me about it, now that it's finally come out, it's out of beta, and so I thought we'd go ahead and finally get that done. I have a little bit of experience with X-Plane 10. I haven't, to be quite honest, I haven't flown that in years. Mainly an FSX guy, a little bit with Prepared, although I don't think I've ever made a video on Prepared. So X-Plane 11, a lot better, I can tell you that. Obviously a lot better than FSX, and it's got some nice features. Like, I gotta say, one of the nicest things I've seen about it so far is the runways, the way they actually bend and everything. It's not just some straight flat runway like you see in FSX. Alright, so let's go ahead and first off, before we do a little test flight, I've done a few by the way, but let's go ahead and look at the settings. Don't really care anything about the language or anything, but you can see what languages it's in right now. Here you got your flight models per frame. Over to the right, it's going to be more accurate, I guess, but it's also probably going to be a little more of a strain on the system, so I've just got it over all the way to the left. Things like show clickable regions in the cockpit. I had that on just to see what it was. Don't really like it. It makes like the knobs and everything will have like green boxes around them and stuff, and that just really doesn't look good. So instrument instruction in the cockpit, stuff like that, simulate the blackout and all that. You can see all the options here. Show ATC taxi arrows, disable downwind ILSs, runway follow terrain contours, and that's kind of what I was talking about. It's not a flat runway. It looks like an actual runway. It's really, really neat. All right, don't care too much about the warnings and the data. Let's go over here to sound. You can see all the options for sound. I'm not exactly going to blow you away with sound. Alright, here's some good stuff. The rendering options and the graphics. Visual effects, I've got high HDR. If there's one more to the right, HDR and SSAO. To be quite honest, I'm not sure what SSAO is. So I've just got it right here at HDR. Texture quality, I've got it all the way over to the right. There's one more to the right. Maximum, there's maximum no compression. I've just got over one from all the way to the right. Obviously, moving that up, you're going to use more of your VRAM and all that stuff, so it puts a little more of a strain on the system. I think maximum's just fine. Same thing with anti-aliasing. One all the way from the right, 4x, SSAA, that's what they keep coming up, plus FXAA. The higher you go, a little more of a strain on the system, so I figured that's pretty good right there. Monitor configuration, I've just got the full screen. But you can see here, windowed simulator if you want to run it in a window. Instructor operating station, 2D panel, resolution, I've just got it on default, 1920 by 1080. Default view, forward 3D cockpit, but you can have just the 2D panel. I thought there was just an option for just 2D panel, but forward HUD, 3D cockpit, forward scenery, 2D panel. Allow windshield effects, I've got that on. The lateral field of view, I believe the default was 60, so I've just left it there. I use VSync. I tried that. It does help, but there's a hit to the frame rate, very noticeable if you use that. So if you wanted to use that, you could turn your settings down a little bit maybe. Just so you know what I'm using, my motherboard is an Asus Maximum 6 Hero. Processor is an i7-4770K. I think I'm overclocked. I want to say 4.5. My video card, EVGA, it's the NVIDIA 760 superclocked. Don't have it overclocked right now. And I've got 8 gigs of RAM, so that's kind of what I'm working with. And I do not record with Fraps. I record to another PC using a Hauppauge. So since I'm not using Fraps, there's no additional strain on the CPU. As you can, obviously, it does have support for track IR. I'm not sure too much about what the Matrox triple head-to-go is. I'm not sure if that's similar to track IR. I'm not really sure. Number of world objects, I've got clear to the right at maximum. Reflection detail, I've got it over at medium. And draw parked aircraft. Not going to work too much about visual offsets. If you have your monitors where they're not perfectly looking straight at you, you can see like wraparound views and stuff like that, you can work with that. Don't care too much about the network and the data output. Here's the joystick. Thought that was kind of cool when that popped up. That is my actual joystick, the Thrustmaster. I think T-Hodas, I can't remember the exact name. But that's it. Very easy to calibrate, which is really nice. I don't think FSX had that. I think you had to use like the computer calibration. But this has its own calibration for it. And you can do all kinds of the button settings. This thing actually has a bunch of buttons on it. I actually have kind of surprised how much I've actually liked this joystick. I've had this thing forever, and it still serves me well, so I've kind of kept it. I've had that thing for like 7 years now or something, but I've never had a problem with it, so I really like it. All right, so here's your keyboard. You know, you can bind all your keys, all that good stuff. Not gonna worry too much about that. And then GPS hardware, if you want to mess with your GPS on here, you can do that. So let's go to a flight real quick. We'll look at some of the aircraft they have. All right, so you got the Boeing 737-800, 747-400, and the MD-82 for your like commercial airliners. General aviation, you got your Beechcraft Baron 58, Cessna Skyhawk, Cirrus Vision SF-50. I tried that for a second. I didn't really like it. I thought the sound on that thing was terrible. I didn't like it that much. And the King Air C-90. I actually flew the C-90B King Air not too long ago, which I don't fly that plane much, but I thought that was kind of crazy that was in there, and I just flying it. The glider, the Ask-21, helicopter Sikorsky S-76C, military, the F-4 Phantom II, Lockheed SR-71, which is a badass plane, but I tried that as well, and I wasn't that impressed with that either. And then for a seaplane, you have this Cessna Skyhawk, obviously on floats. So now, we'll take a look at a little flight here. Got a short one I want to do. KDWU, Ashland Regional. It's kind of weird they call it Ashland, Boyd County, but it's not in Ashland, nor is it in Boyd County, but that's where it is. And we'll fly over to Huntington, Tri-State Airport. If you watch my videos, I live in that area, or actually used to have moved now. But we fly there a lot in FSX, so you'll be able to see the difference big time if you watch the other videos. Weather, we got it broken in just about a noontime flight, so let's go look at it. Alright, so here we are in the plane. As you'll notice, it's not going to blow you away what they've done with the default planes. You can't really expect that, though. I mean, there's all kinds of add-on developers, and hopefully as they move on to X-Plane 11, I'm sure there will be a ton of stuff. And I think more developers will probably move over that way. I'm hoping, at least. But, I mean, it's not horrible. And I'll try in the review not to let some things get in the way. Like, obviously, I don't have any camera for this thing. Like, I have EasyDock for FSX and everything. So it's a little bit different on the setup. But I'll try not to let that get in my way too much about things, that I like and don't like. Because we just got to use the keys here. Moving around, so it's just kind of different. You just gotta, I guess, get used to it, but not that bad. Take a look outside real quick. Outside doesn't look that bad. Just look at some different views here. And one thing I'll say, I was kind of surprised they got some of the vectoring right. Like, it's even better than, say, FTX Vector from Orbex. Like, with Orbex, there's you got the Ohio River right here, and then it kind of screws up over here. There's actually part of the Ohio, there's a little inlet over here, and FTX can't even get that right. It's just, I was kind of surprised that they actually got stuff like that correct. I'll go ahead and throw out the flaps here. As you can hear, it doesn't really sound that great, but like I said, it's a full airplane. What do you expect? And I don't have my controls and everything's dialed in, so don't kill me on the flight. I tried to land a few times, and quite honestly, it's not that great. And I've had a heck of a time trying to get on a straight line moving here. I don't know what the heck is going on. Alright, well, let's go ahead and we'll take a short flight. I think I've got the sensitivity up too much as well in the controls, because you'll hear it start squealing. Wobbly all the way down the runway, I know. But you can see, look at the bend in the runway. Like, I think that's incredible, moving from FSX over to here and seeing that. That's nuts. Alright, gears coming up. You can see that inlet on the right from the Ohio River, and I just thought that was kind of crazy that they got stuff like that correct in here. Flaps are coming up. Because they got a lot of this correct, and I'm really surprised by that. Over at Huntington, you can see the railroad tracks. There was a train moving on it. I mean, it was just kind of cool to actually see that stuff. That right there, I believe, is the new bridge that they just built, which wouldn't be that much different. There's one right beside it. Some of the roads are a little weird, you'll notice, but I mean, it is flight sim, so don't worry too much about that stuff. Although, I mean, eye candy is nice to have, obviously. You can see, like, the roads there on the side of the hill, kind of odd, but like I say, it is a flight simulator. Not supposed to worry about, I guess, too much about that kind of stuff, but like I say, eye candy is nice. You can tell it's just such a different sim than FSX, and FSX is getting old, and you know, people complain about the flight dynamics aren't realistic and stuff like that, which they are, right? But moving over to this, it's just got such a different feel, and it's so much more smooth. I mean, it is an 64-bit program and everything like that, so you got to expect, you know, it's going to work a lot better. It's been really nice. It's just, you have to get used to it. Moving over from FSX to something like this, it'll obviously take some time to get used to. And I've noticed that because my landings have been quite awkward. But just a little bit to get used to. Actually, I'm like my second flight, I was flying into Huntington and ran into some birds. Never experienced that with FSX. It actually didn't break up the plane or anything. It actually didn't have any effect, you just heard the big thumpings and everything. But I think you can turn damage on. There was an option where it actually talks about, well, that talked about overspeed and stuff like that, disabling parts of your plane. Alright, so airport should be closer. I think it's that right over there. We'll come away from runway 12. I just want to give a close flyby, just to see it, because that was like, I don't know why, but that's like the biggest thing that blew me away was seeing the runways for the first time, seeing them curve, like bending up and down. Like it's not just some flat runway like it is in FSX. It's crazy. We'll take a look at that, and when we come around for runway 12 and land, that's when you'll notice it the most. I think I've got it tuned into the ILS, but we won't use ILS, actually. We'll just come in, fly around, and come in for 12. I don't know why it has that going out, because it was set up for Huntington, so I don't know why it does that. Right, I actually don't want to get too high here. No need to. Got that post in the way. It's weird, it feels like when you move it around it's jaggedy, but the actual plane itself and everything is quite smooth when you move it. I need to adjust my sensitivity and all, like, all kinds of stuff like that, but... There's the airfield. I said I didn't want to get that high, and here we are, coming up on 2,900 feet. So I'll let it descend a little bit, not too quick. I was looking to see if we saw the train coming by. I've flown here a couple times. Each time I've seen that little train coming by, which is just kind of cool. Nice little add in. Actually, there it is right there. here's the runway. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see the bend that great here. And I just keep getting up and up and up, don't I? That gives us a good view here. Hey, you can't really see, it kind of looks flat from here, but I guarantee you it is not. You'll notice that when we come around to land. And I'm not sure how, I'm sure it's probably not exact with the buildings and stuff like that. I'm sure they didn't go that far with each airport. But I'll tell you what, I'll cut it here for a second, and I'll bring it back when we're coming into land. We'll take a look at that runway effect like I was talking about. Be right back. Alright everybody, here we are coming in for runway 30. I kept on saying 12, I think. Mid 30 coming in from the other way. You lined up, you can see how it's not flat. It's so, I don't know why that blows me away, but it just does. It's so different. I'm not sure if that also makes it so much harder to land or what, but I have not been landing good at all. I'll bring back the power here. Go ahead and drop my gear. See if I can't land it a little bit better than what I've been doing, because I've been doing terrible. Alright, start getting the flaps out. Increase my power just a little bit from the drag. Go ahead and put it full flaps here. I've been landing quite hard, coming down hard, so don't want my speed to get down too much. 500, you can hear the call out. Says we're a little low as well. But you can see how it's not flat. It's really just amazes me. See, it keeps dropping like that. And I pick up the nose to try and flare, and it just doesn't seem to want to work out for me. Basically ever. By the way, I do not like the braking system on this. I'm so used to hitting the brake button and holding it in, but in this, you just, I'll click it right here. Just click it once, and actually it's like it turns on, I don't know if you would say a parking brake, but it's like an auto brake, but comes to a complete stop. I don't really like that. I don't know if you can disable that or not in the settings, because I would much prefer it kind of like it is in FSX, because it's so awkward when you hit the brakes. You're just expecting, you know, to slow down a little bit, but this actually brings it down quite a lot. You can hear my tires screeching. I don't know if that's because I have the sensitivity turned up, because I'm just barely turning the handle a little bit, and this thing acts like I'm jerking on the wheel, turning the wheel real quick, and I'm actually not doing that. Now let it stop right here. Take a look outside, but no, it's going to be interesting. I feel like I have a lot to learn, a lot to get used to in X-Plane 11. You know, coming from FSX over to X-Plane 11, it's not totally different, but there is a lot to get used to, I think. And as for switching, to be quite honest, I will switch. I don't know. It would take a while, because the thing about FSX is I've got so many add-ons and so much time in it and so much money into it to just come over to X-Plane 11. Because obviously I got nothing for it. Like I said earlier, I played X-Plane 10, but I haven't played that in years, and the only add-ons I had for it was freeware stuff. So if I move over, God, it's so much money and stuff like that, so I plan on messing with it a little bit. As developers start making more and more stuff compatible with X-Plane 11, I'll probably get some, and I don't know, because it's a very nice simulator, and I'm sure as the add-ons start coming in, it's gonna be really nice. It's just like I say, I've got so much money in FSX at this point. I really don't want to move over and do a lot of videos with this, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen. But yeah, there's your overview. By the way, if you want to go over to the menu, you can go up like that. I think you can also hit escape or something to bring you up. You can go over to the main menu, mess with your controls, all the settings and stuff like that. But yeah, there's the overview of X-Plane 11. Like I said, it is quite nice. I'll probably get into it some more. We'll see what happens in the future. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next flight.